What do you think is going to happen to Damian Lillard this offseason, just with the reports and rumors of him potentially have played his last game as a Portland Trailblazer?
Well, I mean, obviously, Miami's coming off of a finals loss. They have a couple of free agents pending this offseason. Obviously, everybody's linking the trade to potentially be somewhat of Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry, and some first-round picks. Some people even have Tyler Hero being put in that situation. Miami would like to keep Tyler Hero out of this trade because they're going to maybe leverage him in another trade to get more pieces around Dame. But I actually just read something while Kyle was talking about the finals on his segment with Denver. And supposedly, the New Orleans Pelicans are targeting to maybe work with the Trailblazers for that number 3 overall pick, and they would prefer Zion over Brandon Ingram to pair up Dame and Zion on the pick and roll handoffs, and obviously Zion's ability to just be a force down low. That changes a lot of things here because if they find a way to get a superstar like Zion and he stays healthy, because we all know that Zion's biggest issue is overweight, the foot, the heat, whatever the issue may be, the hamstring, that would be a nice 1-2 punch. Now, if that does not happen, then of course Damian Lillard to Miami makes a whole lot of sense. I'm not saying that he still can't get traded to Miami despite them getting Zion. Maybe he might get frustrated for the front office trading for an injury-prone young superstar. But there's just so many options in the offseason. And obviously the NBA trade deadline and the NBA offseason is just like free agency. It's an incredible time because there's just names flying around, rumors circulating, contracts being negotiated, similar to what happened a few years ago with the Mavs and DeAndre Jordan. You may get a verbal commitment, but that doesn't mean anything because until you sign on the dotted line, you're not on that team yet. So Dame could be in a number of different places. I've seen links to Zion getting traded. I've seen links to some other NBA players. Like they wanted Bradley Beal to go over there, but that never happened, obviously, with him being in Phoenix now. But there's just so much being worked around. It's just a matter of what is going to be the best fit and what does Dame want to do. Again, Bradley Beal is the only player in the NBA that had a no trade clause in his contract. So technically, Dame doesn't necessarily have a say, but he has stated multiple times he wants to be in Portland. He wants to continue to build. And if Portland were to go away from that in sense of a rebuild, then he is no longer going to be interested and obviously have to reevaluate his services as to where he's going to play basketball. But with them, and by them I mean Portland, being willing to leverage that 3rd overall pick and acquire some talent, if it's not a superstar, I don't know what's going to happen. And right now, if Zion is the only one available at that superstar level, and I use air quotes very lightly because we all know when he's healthy, he's giving you 26 and 9, 26 and 10 at 60% from the field. The issue is the health. We do not need another injury-prone superstar paired up with Damian Lillard because CJ McCollum had a multitude of stints where he was hurt and he could not stay healthy. Yes, Zion is a different caliber of a player, him playing the power forward position, him being physical. CJ's known for his finesse, his handle, his jump shot. But Dame's already done that. Dame's already been the person to carry the team. Dame's already been the person that stays loyal for 11, 12 seasons. Now it's to the point where, is Dame going to leave? We've been talking about this for a number of years since they went to the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors a few seasons ago on whether or not he's going to stay. And he's continued to double down, triple down on it with the contract extension he received last season. I want to stay in Portland. I want to bring a championship. The front office is doing their best. Anthony Simons has been up for trade. Obviously, Jokic has been up for trade. There has been discussions and debates with the 3rd overall pick this year. So they're trying to work. It always comes down to the market. Is Portland a place somebody wants to play? Is Portland somewhere where somebody wants to, call home? It's not a big market. It's not a popular city. It's not somewhere that people are going to be, excited to be, like a New York, a Dallas, a Los Angeles. So like the market itself isn't something that's that necessarily appealing. But with all of these players that are rumored to be out there available, I mean, the possibilities are endless. Now, Dame in Miami makes sense because you team up Dame's ability to extend the floor with his 3-point shot, ball handling, court vision, and experience alongside Jimmy Butler, who isn't the greatest shooter, but has gone on runs, as we saw this postseason, where he can carry the load with Bam Adebayo. That is a really good big 3. I'm not going to go out there and say that that's going to be the best super team available when you have teams like Phoenix out there, but that is a solid Eastern Conference team to compete with Milwaukee, to compete with Boston if they keep that core together for the foreseeable future. Now, Dame is in his 30s. Dame has a lot of miles on him. He's had his own fair share of injuries, but he will not have to shoulder a franchise on his shoulders if Jimmy and Bam are there with a good list of role players. Now, you also have the veteran head coach that is Eric Spoelstra, and you also have the CEO or director of operations, whatever Pat Riley is, to go and convince Dame, like, hey, we have a culture. You see what we were able to do with less. If you come here, who's to say the sky isn't the limit? It's just, it always comes down to what Dame wants to do. He's going to have a big contract hit soon, whether it's this year or next year. I don't know if Miami can afford it. They would have to unload a whole lot of pieces. And I know that, Jimmy Butler and those boys need some help when they struggle from the offensive side. If Dame was in this series alongside Jimmy, I don't know if they would have struggled as much as they did. But you can play what if all day. It's a very dangerous game to go about. Dame is going to be the most sought after free agent in this free agency class that is currently available. Kyrie, LeBron, and all these other players that are like rumored. Dame is the one that everyone's locked in on because that is going to be a trade. Wherever he goes, it's going to be a contender. And wherever he goes, he's going to add incredible value to that team. So only time will tell, like we said in the last segment. But again, we'll kind of see, play it by ear. I'm excited. If he goes to Miami, I think they're going to go absolutely insane. Maybe even have another finals berth. But only time will tell. So we won't get excited prematurely.